Hi again. Last time we talked about using for and since in the present perfect. There are several other adverbs and time expressions that we often use with the perfect tenses. Let's look at some of them. Let's begin with so far and up to now. These expressions also show a connection between the past and the present, but they often emphasize an event that has occurred repeatedly from a point in the past up to the present time. Like for and since, these expressions can occur at the beginning or end of the sentence, but they are usually at the end. We've had 5 lessons so far, or we've had 5 lessons up to now. With the use of so far and up to now, we expect to have more lessons. Next, let's take a look at ever and never. These expressions show that an event happened sometime before now. The exact time of the event is not specified. We use ever to ask a question about an unspecified time in the past. We use never in a negative answer. Have you ever been to Antarctica? I've never been to Antarctica. We can also put the negative form on have. I haven't ever been to Antarctica. Notice, I used ever when the verb is negative. I cannot use never with a negative verb. Not. We can only use ever in questions or in negative statements. Do not use ever in an affirmative statement. So we can say, have you ever been there? I haven't ever been there. I've been there, but not. Next, let's take a look at already and yet. Like ever and never, these adverbs usually talk about an event that has or hasn't happened sometime before now. The time is not specified. Use already in affirmative statements. I've already completed the assignment. Use yet in questions and with negative verbs. Have you completed the assignment yet? I haven't completed the assignment yet. Yet almost always goes at the end of the sentence. Next, let's talk about lately and recently. We use these adverbs with the present perfect and the present perfect progressive to show an indefinite time in the near past. These adverbs can go at the beginning or end of the sentence. Lately, I've been practicing my pronunciation. I've read some good books recently. Recently can also come between have or has and the main verb. I've recently started a new exercise program. Finally, let's take a look at the expression by the time. This expression is typically used with the past perfect. Later, you'll learn that it's also used with the future perfect. With by the time, an action occurred after another action. For example, by the time I arrived, class had ended. First, class ended. Then I arrived. We often use already with the past perfect to emphasize that the action was completed first. By the time I arrived, class had already ended. We can switch the clauses around without changing the meaning. Class had already ended by the time I arrived. We use by the time with the simple past to show an action occurred after another action in the past. And we have already finished our lesson. See you again soon.